Welcome to Entrepreneurial Entrails for some short stories on the guts and glories of being an entrepreneur.
Short people got no reason. Short people got no reason.
Hey, it's Elizabeth Plouffe with Entrepreneurial Entrails, and today's topic is kind of, well, not weird exactly, but it's about inspiration. And it's about why are some people more likely to inspire you than others? Well, at least from my perspective anyway. So one of the things I do every day is I watch a TED Talk. Could be anything. I've got no particular agenda as far as what the topic is because I'm going to learn something from everything that I watch. And likewise, if it sucks, I stop watching it as well. There's been a couple where the speakers have been drier than a mouse's fart, so I really don't have any desire to waste 20 minutes of my time trying to get their message. But in the last couple of hours, I've watched two. One was from Sam Burns, who was a young man who suffered from progeria, which basically is a form of accelerated aging. So at 17, he looked and I believe was physically similar to somebody who was well over 100 years old. But he was a wicked young man. And at 16, 17, when he gave his TED Talk, holy doodle. I mean, the wisdom coming out of this kid was just phenomenal. And likewise, I also watched one by Sean Stevenson, who is a man who has a form of, I would assume, dwarfism. Definitely got some challenges in the physical area, and he was in a prison giving a fantastic TED Talk on how we create worse prisons for ourselves using negative talk and losing our self-belief and bullying ourselves and what have you, than any prison that a human being could construct to hold you in. And fantastic TED Talks. And a few weeks ago, I saw a friend of mine, Dave Dame, and he gave his TED Talk, and I talked about that as well. Or sorry, not a TED Talk, Spark the Change Toronto talk. And it was, Dave's got severe, I shouldn't say severe. He's got CP, cerebral palsy, and he manages his life with the help of other people around his challenges. But with all three of these men, and that's not to say women don't fall into this category as well, I just haven't found them yet, but I'll talk about them when I find them. All three of these men have achieved amazing things despite their disabilities. And I even hesitate to use the word disability because would they have achieved what they have without having to overcome the challenges that their physical situation provides them? But what struck me this morning was somebody who was able-bodied, who had gone through, I wouldn't even say similar challenges, because unless you've sat in the chair, and meaning their wheelchairs and what have you, you're never going to know what somebody goes through every day who is dependent on other people to keep them alive. Which is essentially these three gentlemen, that's what they fall into. Every day they need help getting showered and changed and fed, and even Sam with his progeria has physical limitations that he has to adapt to on a daily basis. And so that was the upshot of the three videos, or the three talks from these gentlemen, was how being adaptable can allow you to overcome challenges and how being adaptable can allow you to achieve great things. But my thought this morning is, from any type of perspective, if you are choosing to be inspired for your business or you're choosing to be inspired for your self-development, which, goes hand in hand with business success from my perspective, are you more likely to take an inspirational message from somebody whose challenges are physical and obvious in front of you versus somebody who is able-bodied and is, going around the stage sharing their story? And I found that quite fascinating. Why are we so, I'm having a moment. Why are we so able to, I don't even know how to say it. How do we feel more kinship for somebody who is giving us an inspirational message because of their disability versus somebody who's able-bodied? Why are we more willing to believe or absorb or learn from or be inspired by? And this is a personal observation. I don't know that I would have been as moved if somebody on two legs and showing no physical challenge had shared the same messages that these three men had shared. I mean, Dave Dame's talk, I had the privilege of seeing it in person, and he brought me to tears. I hate crying in public. But the power behind his inspiration was that much greater because of the physical challenge. The same with Sean Stevenson. I mean, this guy, just wicked intelligent and really insightful, and he's not a guru type of guy. He's also really relatable, and I bet he's got a wicked sense of humor as well. A lot of the use of the word wicked today, but just seems to describe everything. And Sam Burns, the same thing. I think he's got a little bit of he unfortunately passed away 2 years ago, but had a little bit of the Dickens in him and could probably give people a hard time when he needed to. My point being, or my thought for this morning, is when you're looking for inspiration, maybe part of the journey has to be making sure that you find it through resources or sources that inspire you the greatest. And I'm not saying don't look for the usual suspects. You have Tony Robbins, you have Elizabeth Gilbert, you have, tons of other people. But I got to be honest with you, I'm just realizing today I don't take them as seriously because, they don't know what it's like to travel in shoes that have difficulty walking, and personal moment, my 18-year-old son has Asperger's syndrome, which is a high functioning form of autism. He's a super cool kid. He's extremely imaginative and artistic and caring and empathetic. And, we're really fortunate that it's just enough to screw him up. And, people can tend to notice after a little bit that he's a bit of a funky chicken. And it pisses me off to no end when I see parents who have what I would consider neurotypical kids. I've talked to them. There's been no discussion around their child having any kind of challenge. And the kids are shitheads. They have nothing preventing them from being a nice person other than these parents don't appreciate the gift that they've been given of a neurotypical child who doesn't have to overcome these barriers and challenges. Now, you look at my son, he's a handsome kid. He's like 5'11", he's in that 18-year-old muscular stage, although he's skinny little monkey, ginger hair, green eyes, strong cheekbones. He's a good looking kid. I just took his grad photos and holy doodle, kind of find it hard to believe he's mine. But I know what he's been through. I know what we've been through to get him to that stage. I know the hard work that we've had to put into him and with him to get him to this level. And I would think that if once upon a time in the future he decides to share his story, I know this kid's going to be a success. I know he's going to kick the crap out of something that he chooses to do. And I stop and wonder, will he have the same inspiration that Sean and Sam and Dave have had because of the challenges that he's overcome? Thomas is going to be going into something that's going to be artistic and media related. So the only person that comes to mind is somebody like Walt Disney. That's where my kid's brain is. He's really creative that way. But with Walt Disney, I've seen his documentary, and the only challenges he overcame was crappy business partners. And that's not to say that he didn't earn his achievement, but would he be that much more inspirational if there was some kind of challenge around, physical or mental challenge around achieving what he's achieved? So that's just my thought for today is, don't discount sources that have some kind of physical challenge. Don't ever look at somebody and just think they don't have anything to contribute. Dave Dame is an extremely effective agile and scrum coach that goes in and changes the way teams work within their organization. And 10 years ago, because of his CP and his disabilities, people probably wouldn't have given him the time of day. There's probably still people that look at him and figure there must be some kind of mental impairment. And let me tell you, you just got to sit with Dave for 2 minutes. Guy is sharp as a tack, and he's just so funny and so smart. So take a look at a wide variety of resources. Take a look at the Sam Burns TED Talk. It was under the Mid-Atlantic platform. Take a look at Sean Stevenson's TED Talk and be inspired by a wide variety of people. And maybe it'll change the way you take in their messages and you use them and apply them to your life, maybe you will be more inspired. And if the regular way is working for you, fantastic, great. Keep looking at those resources and keep using them to drive yourself and your business forward. But don't discount the people who might be a little different. And don't dismiss them. Don't dismiss anybody. You never know what's going on underneath. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. If you have found somebody who's particularly inspiring, regardless of whether they have a challenge or not, I'd love for you to post it in the comments so that we can share it out to other people and broaden everybody's perspective. You never know when something's going to inspire and hit somebody in the soft and feely places. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.